Alright everyone, I'm just past Githurai 45 and actually I'm heading towards Thika. The small civilization you see on my right ahead, that is Kahawa Wendani. It's quite a popular estate among the middle class. While right opposite it, that is on my left, that is the Kahawa Barracks, a military barracks here in Nairobi. And right next to Kahawa Wendani is Kahawa Sukari, which is our destination for today. Actually, I'm exiting the highway since we'll be hitting our town in a few seconds. It is on our right. And just a quick fun fact, this road serves as the boundary between two counties, that is Nairobi and Kiambu counties. Well, on my left, that is where the barracks is, that is in Nairobi, while Kahawa Sukari is in Kiambu County. Well, next to the barracks, I hope you can spot some tall trees. That is a university, Kenyatta University, commonly known as KU. Well, of course, I'll be taking you there later in the video. I want to give you a quick virtual tour of the university so that you can get a good glimpse of learning institutions here in the country. But in the meantime, let's explore Kahawa Sukari. Well, it seems like a nice town. Actually, within a few seconds, I have spotted a KFC and two leading supermarkets in the country. And so this is not your regular neighborhood. I'm sure you can see Naivas Supermarket and Quickmart. They are on my right, and that tells you that there is a good shopping culture in the town, which is an upper middle class thing, which is also the case with the KFC. It is also good to note that Kahawa Sukari is not your average neighborhood. Actually, it is quite expensive to live here. It is not for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. In fact, getting a piece of land here, you need a lot of money. I'll be giving you the actual numbers in our real estate segment later in the video. I will also be giving you the rent prices in the estate so that you can compare it with other neighborhoods around the city and see for yourself. And actually, it is safe to say that Kahawa Sukari is a rich neighborhood as far as the Kenya standards are concerned. I want to take you around the beautiful rich neighborhood and see what's up. We want to see how the people live here in Kiambu County. Things like their houses, social amenities, and others. We will also come back to the town and see how businesses are faring before taking you to Kahawa Wendani and Kenyatta University later in the video. But in the meantime, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to our YouTube channel, Village to Town TV, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent. Well, thank you for the continued love and support. And if you have not yet subscribed, kindly consider doing so. It is absolutely free, but means a lot to us. Just show some love by hitting the red button, and we will appreciate. Now back to the video. I can see some really nice mansions on both sides of the road. And for information, this is a gated community. You just don't hop inside anyhowly. You have to prove to the security people who you are, where you're going, and who you know. I'm told the estate management is quite strict, which is super nice for the residents. That is also the case when it comes to building. It is a controlled development neighborhood. You just don't need to build anyhowly. You need to follow a strict order. Like for instance, you can't just buy land here and build a mabati house just because it's your land. You will have to face some not so nice consequences. Or just because you have money, you can't build a 5-story building or an apartment in this part of the estate. And actually you have to seek for approval from the resident association before you start building. Well, I just turned right. I want to get deep into the estate. We want to explore it further. And for information, the road that we just left goes to a neighboring estate that goes by the name Muihoko, which is a middle-class estate. It became quite popular, especially in the era of social media. as it is associated with one of the pioneers of the social media in Kenya, a legend that goes by the name Henry Desagu. Shout out to the legend. It is also good to know that Kahawa Sukari is also popular among actors and actresses. Actually, I'm told that a popular TV program that goes by the name Mother-in-Law, which is also legendary, is short. Well, I'm not quite sure about that. Maybe if you have the right information, you can tell us down in the comment section below, and we will appreciate. Well, looking at the data, the neighborhood is quite big as far as land mass is concerned, especially when you compare to other neighborhoods around. But the same is not reflected on the population. Well, looking at the numbers, Kahawa Sukari has a total population of 14,639 people. That is according to the Kenyan Bureau of Statistics. And out of the aggregate population, 6,944 are males, while 7,694 are females. That tells you that the gender gap is quite huge. In fact, there are about 800 more people in favor of women. And in terms of the population density, there are 3,096 people living in a square kilometer, which is not so densely populated considering that the total land mass area measures 4.7 kilometers squared. Well, let me just compare this with one of the neighboring estates here. That is Kahawa Wendani, so that you can see the difference. Well, I hope the table is up on the screen and you can see the circled area. Well, that is population density. The comparison between Kahawa Sukari and Kahawa Wendani, which of course I'll be taking you later in the video. Well, you can clearly see that the population density for Wendani is too high. Actually, it's about 24,123 in a square kilometer, comparing that to 3,096, that of Kahawa Sukari, like comparing heaven to earth as far as distance is concerned. I also want you to note something. The total land mass area for Kahawa Sukari is 4.7 kilometers squared. And remember I told you that 1 kilometer squared is equals to 250 acres of land. On the other hand, the total land mass area for Kahawa Wendani, which actually is quite popular with college and university students, is only 1.2 kilometers squared. That means that most people here in Sukari lives in their own compound houses, while their counterparts in Wendani lives in apartments. Anyway, I'm sure you have noted that the environment has changed drastically. Well, we are back to Kahawa Sukari Center, the small town where we just started the video, and we want to explore it more before proceeding to other areas in the neighborhood. And one thing I have noted is that the road is not that nice in this part of the town. It is quite dusty, although there are still some nice mansions on my right. And it is also quite unfortunate since I can see that this is a business zone. You can actually see some nice businesses on my left. For instance, this one right in front is a photo studio. There is also a cooking gas vendor next to the business, and also a thrift store, which I can read sells ex-UK products. Well, I can tell you that for sure, the condition of this road affect these businesses, of course negatively, and this is not so nice, especially in a rich neighborhood in one of the richest counties in the country. Actually, I'm told that this county, that is Kiambu County, collected 4.6 billion in revenue, that is in Kenya shillings. That was a record high. It also got some cash from the national government, which amounted to 12.7 billion Kenya shillings. But don't get it twisted though. The county also has one of the highest population in the country, and so it has a lot of people to cater for. In fact, according to the Kenyan Bureau of Statistics, the county has a total population of 2,652,880, and that is as of 2023, which of course is a population projection. You have not yet conducted a general census. But the government also projects that the county population is increasing at an annual rate of 2.4%. That is quite something. And in terms of the population density, there are 1,045 people living in a square kilometer here in Kiambu County. Well, I'm told that the population has always been like this for decades. For instance, in 1979 general census, the population for Kiambu County was 686,000, which I can tell you that it's quite high than some counties in modern Kenya. I'm also told that by 1989, Kiambu's population was almost clocking to 1 million. Well, another thing that I have found to be quite fascinating about the county numbers is that 70.6% of the total population lives in urban centers, and only 29.4% lives in villages. Well, that's about 711,000 strong villagers, majority of whom are Christians, making about 99% of the total population, as Islam, which is the second largest religion in the county, accounts for only 0.9% of the aggregate population. Well, I want to see whether I can get into Kahawa Wendani through this feeder road, which is quite bad. Actually, some of the apartments that you see right in front are in Kahawa Wendani. The two neighborhoods are just next to each other. Well, for the friends who don't understand the local dialects, Kahawa means coffee in Swahili, and Sukari is sugar, and so Kahawa Sukari loosely translates into sugarly coffee. Well, on the other hand, Wendani means friendship or love, and so probably Kahawa Wendani is a place for love. Well, I'm still trying to maneuver through this bad road. It's quite hectic. But in the meantime, let me just give you the last piece of number for Kiambu County. And that is, of course, on age distribution. And one of the most interesting facts that I've found about the county is that for people aged 65 and above, that are the old-timers, they are only 3.6% of the total population. Well, the majority are youth. Actually, those aged between 15 and 64 accounts for almost 62.9% of the aggregate population. I have also noted that children make the majority of the total population in Kiambu County. For instance, the age group between 0 and 9 years, there are 608,835, which is the biggest age set in the county, followed by those aged between 20 and 29, which are 528,261. That are the Gen Z, of course, which is expected. But for the old-timers, it seems like the county is not the most suitable place for you. And of course, this is because of the high urbanization. Well, it seems like this road will not take me to anywhere. And so I have to turn around and find another route. But in the meantime, let's check the real estate segment before we hit our next destination. Before getting here, I checked a few plots for sales on various websites across the country. And I have noted that land is readily available here, but quite expensive. For instance, I saw a quote of an acre, which is 100 by 100 in other terms, going for 9.5 million Kenya shillings. I also saw another one of the same size, going for 12 million and 500,000 Kenya shillings, and another one that is 100 by 100, going for 13 million Kenya shillings. Well, this is about 100,000 US dollars. And remember, this is undeveloped land. And so in such a case, you know that you'll have to build your own house from scratch. But I'm sure you have gotten the price range of land in the area from the 3 examples I have provided. And that means that with between 10 and 14 million Kenya shillings, you can get a quarter of an acre here in Kahawa Sukari. On the other hand, renting does not come cheap in this part of the town. In fact, I saw a 2-bedroom apartment going for 40,000 Kenya shillings, and that is per month. I also saw a 3-bedroom going for 70,000 Kenya shillings, and a 4-bedroom going for 120,000 Kenya shillings per month. That means that this is not a friendly place for the brokies or those who are just starting life. And I just want to get your opinion about this price range and the condition of this area, that is, the available amenities and accessibility. Well, the question is the place worth that price, or everything is overhyped for nothing? For instance, that was a very nasty road there. Anyway, write to us your opinion on the comment section below. Tell us, what do you think about Kahawa Sukari? Will you spend such amount on rent to live here? Is it worth it? And for those who have lived here or they still live here, leave a fact or two about this neighborhood and we will appreciate. In the meantime, let's meet in Kenyatta University, KU, in a few. Well, I have just secured an entry to one of the world-class universities in the country. And for my enemies who never thought I'll never step my foot in a university, hapa ni wapi? Anyway, that was on a lighter note. It feels like I'm driving around a small city. It is very clean and peaceful too. It is on a Sunday afternoon, January 2025. And for the record, this is the main campus. And I'm told it acquired the status of a university in 1985. And by then, it was the third university after the University of Nairobi, which acquired the same status in 1970. followed closely by Moi University in 1984. I'm also told that the campus sits on over 1,000 acres of land, and that's why you can see that it's quite spacious. And some of its other major campuses include Ruiru Campus, Parklands, Kitui. There's another one in Mombasa, another one in City Center Nairobi, Nyeri Campus, Nakuru Campus, Kericho, and Embu. Well, there's a small town next to the university that goes by the name KM. I don't know the meaning, but it's quite legendary. Of course, I'm going to take you there sometime. But in the meantime, I want to show you the school library, which I'm told is the biggest in the continent of Africa. I think it is at this point I must say I'm a proud alumnus. It feels like I'm walking down the memory lane of this beautiful alma mater. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Let me leave it at that. Please continue watching the scenic video until the end, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Village to Town TV, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent. Also, don't forget to like the video so that it can be recommended to as many people as possible, and smash the notification bell so that every time we post, you will be among the first few people to be notified. You can also pass by our sister channel, Kikuyu Traveling Media, and show some love, and we will appreciate. Thank you.